Welcome to the crown jewel of the Rockies, Glacier National Park in Montana. With over 1 million acres of wilderness, rugged peaks, pristine lakes, and epic trails, it is no wonder why this is one of the most visited national parks in the USA. In this travel guide, I'll be sharing with you the 10 best things to do and see in Glacier National Park, and be sure to stay tuned until the end as I'll let you in on some travel tips and advice to make the most out of your trip in Glacier National Park. So let's dive in. First up on the list is the iconic Going to the Sun Road. Since the Scenic Drive is such a staple of any visit, I'm making this travel guide easier for you by sharing the best stops and must-see highlights starting from the west entrance all the way to the east entrance. That way you can easily map out each spot along your journey. This 50-mile highway cuts right through the heart of the park, winding past waterfalls, glacier carved valleys, and stunning alpine overlooks. And if you're afraid of heights, this drive might just get to you since you're driving on the edge of a mountain. But I promise you, the drive is worth it. You're going to be happy you held it together, because to me, this is the most beautiful drive in all of the USA. Plus, there's plenty of scenic pull-offs along the way, so take your time, hop out, and soak in all the pristine beauty that makes Glacier so unforgettable. Your first stop as you begin your drive on the Going to the Sun Road from the west entrance is to stop at the crystal clear waters of Lake McDonald. This is the park's largest lake. The glacial runoff keeps it ice cold year-round, but if you're anything like me and you enjoy a cold dip, this is the lake you want to do it in. We just found a random pull-off and went and jumped in. You can also rent kayaks, paddleboards, fishing boats, and bike rentals at the Apgar Village if you want to get out on the water or take a bike ride along the lake. But don't forget to snap a photo here of all these colorful rocks just beneath the surface. It's a Glacier classic. The next must-do in Glacier is take a peaceful walk on the Trail of Cedars, a family-friendly trail through a mossy old-growth forest. The smell of the cedar trees is heavenly. Also on this trail is the connection trail to Avalanche Lake, which you cannot miss. It's a moderate 4.5-mile round-trip hike with a big reward at the end. A stunning turquoise lake surrounded by waterfalls pouring down from the towering cliffs on each side. It's an absolute must-see. As you make your way up the Going to the Sun Road, you'll be at over 6,600 feet, where you'll find Logan Pass. It's the highest point on the Going to the Sun Road, and it's definitely a must-stop for dramatic views and alpine meadows bursting with wildflowers in the summer. There's also a visitor center here, so you'll find a gift shop, bathrooms, and alpine plant and animal exhibits. It's also the starting point to two of Glacier's most famous hikes that I'll be talking about next. At Logan Pass, you'll find the Hidden Lake Overlook Trail, which is a 2.7-mile out and back trail to one of the best bang-for-your-buck hikes in Glacier. From Logan Pass, you'll walk through flower-filled fields to a stunning overlook of Hidden Lake. Keep your eyes peeled for mountain goats and bighorn sheep. They're often nearby, and there could be some warnings about bear activity too. For more of an adventure, try hiking the Highline Trail. This trail also starts at Logan Pass. It's an 11.8-mile point-to-point trek that hugs the garden wall and offers unreal views the entire way. You're literally walking the edge of the Continental Divide, so it's not for the faint of heart, but it's an unforgettable experience. Now, if that sounds like too long of a hike, don't worry. You don't have to hike all 11.8 miles. Even if you can just hike a small section of it out and back, you'll be treated to some of the best views of the park. If you're looking for a hike that's a bit quieter and doesn't have all the crowds, try Piegan Pass. This is a challenging 9-mile round-trip hike that takes you deep into Glacier's backcountry. You'll pass waterfalls, wildflowers, and likely have parts of the trail to yourself. It's one of the lesser-known gems of the park, but I can't recommend this hike enough. You know you're getting close to the end of the Going to the Sun Road when you get to St. Mary's Lake. This is not to be missed, especially the view of Wild Goose Island. This is one of the most photographed spots in the park. Nearby, there's also a hike to St. Mary's Falls and Virginia Falls, a short but rewarding trail that winds past multiple cascading waterfalls. You can even book a scenic boat tour here on St. Mary's Lake to enjoy the views of Glacier National Park from the water. For number 9, this area is not located on the Going to the Sun Road. It's located north of the park in the Swift Current area, aka Mini Glacier area. But if you're looking for the ultimate glacier hike, I recommend tackling the Grinnell Glacier Trail. It's about 11 miles round trip. It's a workout, but the views of the glacier lakes and rugged peaks are so worth every step. You can also take a boat tour of the lake or use it as a shuttle to get to Lake Josephine, which will shorten your trek to the glacier. And finally, keep your eyes open for wildlife. Glacier is home to grizzly bears, black bears, moose, mountain goats, elk, and more. Always carry bear spray with you on the trails, and if you see an animal, give them plenty of space. Seeing wildlife here in their natural home is a highlight that you'll never forget. Alright, now that I went through all 10 of the best things to do and see in Glacier, I want to share some tips with you to help you prepare for your epic trip to this national park. Like many national parks, Glacier is one that has implemented a timed entry vehicle reservation system, and it's required for certain areas of the park during peak hours from June to September between the hours of 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. But here's a little tip. If you enter the park prior to 7 a.m., you won't need a reservation. And honestly, you're going to want to get started early, especially if you're looking to grab a spot at a specific trailhead or you want to avoid the crowds at Logan Pass. Be sure to visit the National Park Service's website to learn more about the timed entry system and to see when the dates of the park will open for the summer season. And remember, if you do grab a timed entry reservation, a park pass is still required in addition to the timed entry reservation. Park passes are $35 per vehicle, or if you have a valid annual national park pass, you can use that too. Hotels, lodges, and campgrounds inside the park book up months in advance. If you're looking to stay in the park, I highly recommend booking accommodations as early as possible, even 6 to 12 months out. The closest town outside the park with lodging would be Columbia Falls, where we've stayed many times, and there's lots of restaurants and dining there too. Glacier is grizzly country. Every single hiker should be carrying bear spray with them. You can either rent it or buy it near the park, and also understand how to actually use it. Also, when you're out on the trails, make noise and just stay alert. I linked the bear spray that we carry with us on all our hikes if you want to purchase some for your own. Do not rely on phones for navigation or communication. There is very limited service in the park. What I always recommend is always download offline maps before entering the park, and consider grabbing a park map at the visitor center. Next, I want to talk about mountain weather because it is unpredictable. Even in summer, snow or rain can hit just all of a sudden. I recommend bringing layers, waterproof gear, and some sturdy hiking shoes for any outdoor plans. Check out the description in this video for links to my favorite hiking gear. Now, there are a few food and drink options inside the park at the visitor centers, but if you're planning to spend most of your day in the park and do some hiking, be sure to bring plenty of water with you and bring lots of snacks and even pack a lunch. There's nothing like a good picnic in the park. Last but not least, please remember to leave no trace, which means stay on the trails, pack out trash, don't feed the wildlife, and please respect the park rules. We all want to do our part to help preserve the landscape because Glacier National Park is a gem and we want to keep it that way. And that's a wrap on our Glacier National Park travel guide. Whether you're here for the scenic drives, unforgettable hikes, or peaceful lakeside moments, Glacier will no doubt take your breath away. Of all the national parks I've visited, Glacier is still and will probably always be my number one. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out my channel for more travel guides just like this, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more national park adventures. Thanks so much for watching.